Hey, Jeremy. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Good to see you.
Likewise. How are you?
I'm pretty good. It's a Monday morning. It's quite overcast, a little rainy at the moment.
Oh,
How's
well,
yeah?
it's sunny here at the moment. We had a really beautiful day yesterday after many weeks of on and off storms,
Ooh,
but good today.
yeah. It's a Sunday for you, right?
Correct.
Awesome. We'll hang about. Tawfik's meant to join us, but how'd you go logging into Circle? By the way, if you did log into Circle,
Let me think. I don't
we
know that I have tried to log into Circle in the past 24 hours or so. I've
okay,
been
cool.
happened to be on my laptop, and so I've just been interacting with the community and whatever through the website. So I haven't tried Circle yet.
Sorry, yeah, through the website one. So we just disabled single sign-on because we're turning off one of our old login products.
Okay.
So it might mean the next time you sign in, you might have to like either reset your password or you might just have to like enter the password you normally use. If that doesn't work, you might have to reset it.
Okay.
If you have any problems, let me know. Hopefully
Sounds
it should be
good.
fine. Hey, Jasmine. Good to see you. Tawfik, man of the hour.
Hello everyone.
Good to see you. Welcome.
I had to reset the password.
Yeah, so okay. Did you have to reset your password? Did you?
Yeah, I had to.
Yeah, cool. Let me know if you have any issues. I was just mentioning to Jeremy that we just turned off the old system, which means some people might have to reset their password. Hope it wasn't too difficult or anything.
No. Yeah, just two minutes later. That's all. Yeah.
That's okay. Well, welcome, Tawfik. Thanks for booking a session and being so open to having people on the call see the hard work you've put in, and hopefully we can help get you some awesome feedback for the end of today. I'm going to hand this over to you, Tawfik. Did you want to kind of just give a bit of an introduction about what you've been up to with your portfolio, kind of where you're at, and maybe the kind of feedback you're after today?
Sounds good. So I would, after recording this one, just wanted to check that.
Yep, we're
as
recording.
well. You're recording. Okay, that's good. It's always good to record and rewatch it to improve and update myself. Quick recap on my journey that I've built up a capability deck I've put out on the case study club for feedback, and I've been applying as well, and so far I was able to get few screening calls. I was able to get initial discussion with the head of design. I got to extend to the final round, but there I did slip because I realized I need to improve and give more presentation. So in today's call, I would like to maybe practice presenting one of the hero case study along with you folks, and maybe you guys can be like the judge and panel of the interviewee, and ask me questions, or I'll leave it up to you guys how you wanna take it forward. So you can start with, hi Tawfik, give me a small introduction about yourself, give me a walkthrough of your presentation or your case study.
Sorry, just a quick question.
Didn't hear that properly.
If you maybe mention what type of role you
Yeah.
are, is it sort of general feedback or in the context of a specific role?
Oh, okay.
I can't remember if you said that.
Okay. So I'm applying at your organization as a senior designer. You're looking into hiring a senior designer for a B2B organization, and you're the design head of the organization.
Awesome. We've got
Sounds
one more
good.
person who's just letting in the room. But we are your judgment panel for today, Tawfik.
Yeah.
So yeah, over to you.
That's good. Thank you. So good evening, good morning, folks. I'll share my presentation. Let me see if I can share my screen. Share. Okay. Share. Share screen.
You might have to go and share entire screen too.
I'll do. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. Let me know if you can already see my screen.
Yeah, we can see your Chrome browser.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So this is the last presentation I shared. That's all the context I'll give, and from here I'll take it forward in terms of sharing my portfolio. So hi everyone. Good evening, good afternoon. My name is Tawfik Manham. A little bit more about myself. I am a senior designer. I have around 8 years of work experience. And the last role I was working as a lead designer at Trimble. Prior to that, I worked as a senior designer with Godrej. Godrej is an Indian MNC. I was working as an industrial designer over there for 4 years, and as a lead designer with Trimble for 4 years, working in B2B solutions in logistics and transportation. Again, a little bit about my journey. Like I mentioned, I was a lead designer at Trimble. Prior to that, I was working as a senior designer with Godrej. And before that, I did my master's in product design, and I have my background in engineering. I recently moved to London due to family reasons, and I'm exploring new opportunities. On the side, whenever I get free, I enjoy reading books. I also play football and also do painting. Some of the highlight of some of the projects I've done, I just have a slide talking about it. I worked on some web application. This is Trimble App Manager. This is about a web application I work for our customers, such as FedEx, Walmart, PepsiCo, where they want to manage a large number of devices which has been used by the truck drivers. There is another mobile application which is used by the truck drivers. This is again a tool for the drivers to easily navigate the day-to-day activity, identify which workflow, which route they need to pick, how many hours did they clock on a daily basis. And then this is the design system for Trimble. I was part of the design system, building or defining few design patterns for the organization. And this one is working a project at Godrej. I was leading a product from end to end, from research, ideation, prototyping, and also working on the digital interface of that product. This one is quick highlight about each project. I already gave you a quick run through of it. I'll jump directly to one of my case study. Just to give you a context of Trimble, Trimble is into logistics. Their expertise in GPS navigation, and that's how they're able to track the truck from point A to point B. They have their own maps, so it also helps guiding the drivers where to move.
Hey, Tawfik, are you meant to have your slide deck in slide mode, or is it's kind of?
Oh no, it was.
Okay, all good. I thought you were meant to have it like full screen, so I was just checking.
No. Would you want to? Is this okay?
Yep. That's all good. If you, it's a bit hard to read, at least for me.
Is it? Oh, is it? Okay.
Or if you hit the slideshow button, that'll make it easier.
Perfect. Okay. So like I was saying, like talking about Trimble is a American MNC based out of Colorado. They have their office across 150 countries. They have clients across 150 countries. They have offices in 40 countries. And like I said, their expertise in GPS, so able to pinpoint a specific location on the globe. So it's heavily used in construction. I was part of the transportation team where we were tracking large number of truck fleets for our clients. Talking about the scale of the team and the market we've been involved, I was in India. I was working closely I was leading a design team. We had 80 developers based out of India. We have teams from Brazil. We had our PO in the US, and our market is primarily USA and Canada. And we have been exploring North America and in European market as well. So to paint you a picture of the industry, so primarily our tool is used by the driver manager who manages a large number of trucks. And this can be cumbersome when you're managing like 200 plus of trucks in terms of providing them the necessary tool for them to make sure that which truck is available and which load can assign to them. So a lot of truck management, fleet management, optimizing the route is part of the responsibility of this driver manager. And if you speak about the truck driver, his primary role is about to make sure that which package I need to pick and where to drop, make sure that I drive safe, I don't exceed my hours of driving hours. So this is a part of compliance regulation, so that if I drive beyond a certain hours, it is not safe for the road, and I'm subjected to fine. So these are some aspects to make it easy for the driver to identify which route they need to go and fill the forms like dispatch form, vehicle inspection form. There are many forms also the driver needs to do. This is again just to give you a context of both ends of the customers that I'm handling with. So I was again managing large number of drivers is really difficult, and to help the driver manager, we have a lot of tools within Trimble ecosystem. So whichever required for each customer, we provide those solutions, so that we have things like workflow. This is a tool which helps identifying which are the trips I have for the driver. We have HOS. This is logging how many hours is available. This is the forms I spoke about, like filling the forms for various activities for the driver. So we have a number of suites, and the hand raise, you can see that I've been part of these individual applications supporting various teams in defining the user flow. Our clients are mentioned here on the right side. So when Trimble comes, it eases the driver manager's workflow, I would say, and it's easy to coordinate and customize these devices for the drivers. One of the critical aspects for the driver manager is customizing these screens for the drivers. So you have the home screen, you have the app drawer where providing necessary applications for the driver. You have a driver screen. This is when driving screen, which is when the vehicle is in motion, this screen triggers and it takes the tablet into kiosk mode, so that the driver doesn't interact with it due to for safety concerns. So you don't want them to play with the tablet. It provides necessary information for the driver. So this is one critical aspect in a trucking industry, in an automobile or driving experience, I would say, so that you have relevant information for the drivers when needed. In a split second of glancing at it, you get the information. So to let you know, like these are few of the screens the driver management needs to customize it from his end and then push it across various drivers within the organization. Again, one of the pain point using this tool is not able to visualize how am I customizing and how is it reflected on to the tablet. So this is one major pain point we identify when talking to our technical support team from Trimble. Many of the issues they raised, like troubleshooting they had to do, is guiding them to how to customize these tablets. So it resulted in cost, like you need to set up a dedicated team, customer support team, who is taking a large number of their hours into troubleshooting these aspects. There's another thing in terms of the tools out there in the market is really complex to use, so it's not very user friendly. So poor user experience leads to poor navigation through the tool, leading to reaching out to customer support, increasing cost. Not able to access the Trimble support team during the weekends. They don't operate during weekends. There's so a delay in that. The methodology in research, what I went ahead was going through training tutorials, video tutorials, and also trying out the tools by myself. Talking to engineering lead, talking to subject matter expert, like my product manager, to understand the requirement for these tools and the need for it. The tool is from scratch, 0 to 1. There was no tool like this, and I was part from the initial journey. It took almost 1 year to develop the various modules in it. I had to understand the whole ecosystem. This is an information architecture of the tool, and just to paint out the picture, like how I was involved from the beginning and mapping out the complete ecosystem of this tool. I just want to paint this picture of information actions that I had to take into consideration. So that translates into bringing into various modules. So defining the site navigation, how to cluster these into submodules was a part of that journey. There were a few little features that I would like to bring into your notice, such as these kind of, whenever you release a new feature, maybe how to indicate or inform the user. Or some clients doesn't require all the features within the tool. You can maybe lock it so that they get curious to know about it, or maybe provide some trial of the tool so that you can maybe upsell these features to a client. So these are some kind of exploration I looked into the site navigation. Another thing I had to look into was the sub navigation within the module. So like there are multiple pages, screens, or features, customizing levels that I need to go through. There were a few exploration I did. This was the other tools within the Trimble ecosystem where we're using this kind of a pagination. If you have a large pagination, it becomes a little difficult to navigate through these dots. We had this progressive thing, something like Amazon checkout, like you do first step 1, step 2, step 3. They didn't give flexibility of jumping between tabs. Then we went ahead with explore this option of proposing jumping from section to section, which might be a question that you might be asking, like this is how regular tab is. That said, allowing the user to jump between sections and identifying areas that they have to address using an asterisk is something that we thought that it will be helping the users to quickly jump into relevant sections and fill those details if it is mandatory. So those are two aspects we looked into. I'll jump into the detailing of how customizing the screen. So this is the final screen that we worked on. To reach that one, we explored two areas. This is out of a lot of exploration. These are two options we had of customizing the driving screen. So you have this kind of a drop area. You click on that, you see you have a pop-up which allows you to pick the relevant widget you need to include for that driving screen. This is one option we had. This is easy for developers to implement. It's lighter in code. For the user, it's something straight away to think and straight away to click and pick, I would say. Another thing, another option we had is a drag and drop. It's bringing a mobile experience into a web platform. So you have this drag and drop and something that you can rearrange as well, pull and delete. So making it more easy and user friendly is something what we were aiming for. We did check with some of our users and they preferred the right option, the drag and drop, and this is what we were able to implement. So this is how you easily click and drag and drop, and you customize your driving screen. The product got good response and feedback from our beta team. They were saying that we were giving this one to some of our customers, and we were intending to roll out a training program for them to how to use this tool. By the way, before rolling out these programs, they already started using it. It's easy for them to play and tweak the tablets. So in that way, it's a win. It's a good design. They appreciated our design effort. This tool was intended for North America, and European team showed interest in it. They did roll out in the European market. We were able to generate $500,000 in Q1 in 2021. Because of the simplicity of the tool, we see a reduction in calls and calls for the call centers. So there is also a win in that aspect. Yeah, that's pretty much in terms of my case study. Let me check on the time as well. Okay.
Good. Congratulations, Tawfik. Great work. Before we get to the feedback, just want to say awesome work jumping on and being willing to showcase and walk through your work. So congratulations.
Thank you, Ben.
Okay, let's start with feedback. I'm going to open it up to the rest of the crew. I'm just going to halt your sharing of your screen so we can all see each other. Hi, everyone. Who would like to start with some feedback? And I highly recommend starting with some positive feedback and then going to here's how I think you can improve. I'll go last as always.
Well, I can go.
Go for it.
All right. Yeah. Awesome job, Tawfik. I really loved how you introduced yourself just before even starting. It really kind of gave me at least a picture of who you are in your professional world and career. So that was really a good way to kick things off. You know what, when you got into some of the interests that you have and you were showing your quick snapshot slide, you were saying a lot of great things that weren't actually on that slide. So maybe just throw in, because it was chock full of professional interests and activities, but you mentioned some great things that kind of speak to the more rounded person in front of them. So maybe just throw in a couple of those other cool interests that you had to that bullet list, and maybe even a couple photos, like some might make it just to represent you in case somebody was looking at the deck without you present. And that's super minor, but it's just something that popped out. And just overall, it was a nice, tight presentation, not too many slides, and the layout of the slides were really nice and not cluttered, easy to digest each slide for the most part. But one thing that maybe could have helped is right at the beginning, highlight the specific efforts for each of those each of your projects, what it is you were set out to do for them, just in one sentence. Because you gave the name of the company and what the company did, but not. I care more about what you did for that company or for the project. So just one sentence, like redesigned a mobile site to increase engagement, or something along those lines. I think that really puts it in my mind what you did. And then sort of carrying that forward for the Trimble project, it's kind of, I personally like to see is like one slide that summarizes everything about the project. So the goal of the project, your role and the responsibility, timeline, and then maybe a quick final example of the design, just to get me kind of really excited about hearing more, because it's sort of whets my appetite, but it gives me that cohesive picture. So if all I ever saw was that first slide, I'd know the bullet points about that project and whether I want to continue looking at it. So that could be something super powerful. And then I'll pause there for more feedback from other folks. But those are just kind of small things. Most of it was really well done from my perspective.
Thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Did that make sense? It is.
It is like you mentioned, the last few details that makes it different. So this is good what you called out. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Susie or Jasmine? Whoever gets off mic first. Not that it's a competition.
Hi. Hold on, let me just turn on the video. Video. Is it there? Oh, hi. Okay. Sorry, I'm on a tablet. It's a little wobbly. I was just really impressed overall with the progress you made. I saw an earlier version of your deck, and it's really come a long way. So that was also just inspiring for me. So well done with that. And
Thank you.
one thing that I liked, I heard throughout your description of the project, I liked you were kind of giving hints about how you cared about the different teams involved. Like one of the things you mentioned, like making something lighter for the dev team, and also you seemed to be very like tuned into like at one point like upselling a feature, so thinking about profitability for the company. And then you also talked about the problem point, of course, with the main users. So I got a really good feeling about you and your ability to be mindful of all the people involved in the product. And I wanted to just, also kind of echo what Jeremy mentioned. Just to know exactly what you did, because I'm always sort of wondering, like, what is it about design that you love, and what's your specialty? And I mean, this doesn't necessarily have to do with this presentation, but I am in general like curious, why was it that you went from working in dev to becoming a designer? But yeah, overall, I thought it looked really good. Thanks for sharing.
Thanks, Jasmine. Thank you. Means a lot. Yeah.
Susie, are you there?
Hi. Yeah, I'm here. I was just like, I wanted to hear everyone. Because it was like really, really hard to find something to like, hey, check out like this thing here, like, and this slide over here, like, because it was like super straightforward, super clean, and super easy to digest, just like Jeremy said. And the only thing that I would say is, first of all, I also saw the first draft, which had the super cool illustrations from the driver, like in the truck and everything, or even like asking Tawfik how you did the illustrations. So it's very interesting to see the transformation and to see the new version. to like improvements, just a couple things. I would love to have a highlight of like when you're talking, when you're giving like the introduction at the very beginning, and you have these bullet points. Highlight which one you're talking about if you're gonna be the one talking about it, so that I can just like so you can guide my eyes, just like a very it's a very like quick or a small detail, but definitely helps out like guiding just the conversation, because you take a long time in these bullet points, right? So I'm listening to you and then I'm coming back, so I stop reading the bullet points while I'm listening to you. So if you highlight them and then I come back to paying attention to the slide, then I will find myself like very quickly where which is the next one you're talking about, if that makes sense. And then on the others, I think I'm gonna agree with Jeremy and Jasmine about having a little bit more about you and the project. It can be like a small thing, just one comment about something you learned from the project that highlights the experience you had as a designer during this project, right? So something that was really hard, and you were able to succeed in this like hard decision, or on the contrary, something you really enjoyed. You were like, oh wow, this went so smooth because we did this and that, or yeah, something related to you as a designer, so that I understand where your mind goes to whenever you're working on a project and what kind of things you like. Because probably I'm gonna be thinking like if you're introducing me the project, I'm gonna think like, okay, so what kind of projects does this designer like to do, or it's strategically speaking, where does this designer sit, right? So that would be very interesting, and just like one single line could add that. Other than that, love the map showing the team. I thought that was super. That was super great because it really shows, and I'm gonna voice a little bit what Jasmine said. It shows how you really care about the team and how you really care about those you're working with, and that shows a very humane and positive aspect about you. And I also love that everything you do, there's always like your family involved. You're presenting every time, like you have it in a call, like you can see your family just like walking behind you when you're presenting things on LinkedIn. And this is like off topic, but when you're on LinkedIn, you also have pictures with your daughter. And I just love that human part of you, which is like very genuine and just transparent. Yeah, I just wanted to add that. I love that.
Still think, Tawfik, just on that your LinkedIn post should totally that you posted one about you and Ilhan going to a coffee tasting session together, and I don't know why I remember that so hard, but I'd been like hoping to see a video of you both reacting to the coffee or something. I don't know, but you know,
That's the one. I think I saw the
Loved that
same one. Yeah, I love that one too. That was
was
so
great.
like, yeah, I still remember that one.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I mean, I need to learn from you folks in terms of how to critique and give feedback. This is a great insight, what you have all shared with me. Thank you so much once again.
I've got some for you. First of
Oh,
all,
yeah.
I love how Ilhan's doing her own thing in the background, and you're like a Zen monk. No response at all. I'm very impressed by the capability of you to stay completely on track. You know, while Ilhan's having her moment in the background. So just, you know, Zen father energy is what you've got there, Tawfik. So great work, like maintaining just constant pace, being like, life is fine. So great work there. I just want to say, I don't think I could do that. I think I would just be like, I'm out. Goodbye, everyone. Lost track of everything.
Normally, my wife takes the day off and take care of her. Today, it's between us. Sorry.
You're like trained on this. I can see why you probably respond to all situations completely smooth and clearly. That's my expectation. So just want to say I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, damn, he's really just like a Zen monk here. Love it. Okay, so let's get into some of the specific feedback. I also do love that you bring your family into a lot of your work life, that you don't keep them in this like cold separate. I think there's a lot of like humanness there. You know, I love when Ilhan joins the calls. She's just kind of sitting there doing her own thing. And you know, they're on your LinkedIn. I think that, yeah, as Susie said, that really humanizes quite a lot. It's like, oh yeah, this person is a real person. They're not some designery thing over here and then a person over here. Your introduction, there is a little bit of rambling at the start, not in a bad way. So I think there could be some clarity in the words. Especially, I completely agree with what everyone was saying about your introduction. I think I'm having a really human introduction. So actually, maybe you talked about photography, I think it was. Did I get that right? Something around pictures. I may have gotten that wrong.
No painting.
No painting. Can I see your paintings on one of the slides? I would love that. Having the visuals that represent you, so much more powerful than kind of any text. So having some of those visuals to kind of showcase some of the paintings, you could showcase your family if you want. That's a whole other thing. Maybe you and your husband are doing coffee tasting. That'd be adorable. You know how people have YouTube channels and they have kids and dogs and that gets them the views. I'm not saying you should, weaponize that. So yeah, I think having that kind of mixture of human and work can really play to your strength. Before we jump into the case studies, I think it's worthwhile setting the scene. You have a page where you list a ton of projects. And my first thoughts is like, are you going to take me through all these projects? Is that what's happening this session? So understanding and setting some context for the people on the call on why am I showing you this slide of projects, you might be worthwhile going like, okay, here's some of my most latest projects. I'm going to walk through one of them today, but let me just briefly walk through the kinds of projects I've done. So that way you're setting the expectation on what I'm about to expect going forward into the call. Just helps people not, they're going to fill the gaps in like, oh, is this going to be a 1 hour call where I'm going to have to sit here and listen to 5 projects, all 20 minutes long, just helping people understand the flow that they're going to go through. And set expectations on the experience. So maybe you could highlight the one you're about to walk through, but then do a quick snapshot. You could even do a slide per project if you wanted, and there's just some images and be like, hey, here's I'm just going to walk you through 4, or I'm going to walk you through my hero case study, but here's 3 others if you want to see more. So just expectation setting. I think if you're going to give any extra information about your other pieces of work that you're not going to work through, keep it really brief, because every word you add is something I have to think about on top. So if I have to think about your main hero case study and why you did it plus 6 other things, my brain's going to start not wanting to pay attention to those things more. So sometimes less is more, and it allows me to focus on really what you're saying rather than a lot of extra stuff. So frequently I will include extra projects at the end, and maybe I'll say, I'm going to walk you through my main one, but I've got extra projects after this. So once your brain's processed my first case study, then I'll introduce you to the rest of my work. Sometimes that's another way of doing it. So I agree, definitely spend a bit longer mentioning and talking about you, and keep the words at the start a bit more focused and minimal. That way I'm just being introduced to you. So my brain has to ramp up before it gets to all the detail later on. So really keeping it on, hey, I'm Tawfik. Here's what I'm about. Here's something about me. Here's my experience. I can really follow that step by step, and it gets me warmed up to you. And then by the time you reach your case study, I've got a vision of you in my mind. I know about you, where I'm engaged. I'm maybe emotionally engaged with you as well. And now I'm open to receive the rest of your words and your work. So that'll help ramp people up. Slide designs, great. The features, I lost track a little when you showed the features at the end. Normally when you're showing a solution, you can be like, here's the solution. I'm going to walk you through 3 of the core features. These aren't all the features, but I'm going to walk through 3 of the most important, and I'm going to talk about why they mattered, how we got there, and their role in the solution. So really setting the scene of kind of the context, the kind of struggle related to that feature, what problem did it address, and what was the solution that feature walked through. I think that following that kind of context, struggle, and then the feature or solution there will just help you frame how to talk about it. Loved your, also on the customizing the driving screen, option 2 was on the left and option 1 was on the right. Don't know if anyone else noticed that, but that throws me off. Option 1 should be on the left, option 2 should be on the right. That way it's left to right, the reading direction. That has no sway on this at all, but I did notice. So okay, let's see, I've got notes that I'm not fully remembering, but yeah, just asking the questions on like, why are you showing this feature? Why did you choose these ones? And really making, like, answering that will help here. Loved all the lingo and the words around the business, the developers, the impact. Like everyone else here, that is key. That's what often separates kind of the senior design. Your impact slide is phenomenal. Love that to bits. Last bit of feedback. Let's talk about your presentation style, because that's a way different kind of feedback than our portfolios. Your pacing and your modulation is fairly consistent through the entire thing. If you want to increase the way people engage with you and the way they engage with your voice, you'll need to control your pacing, your pausing, and the modulation of your voice a bit more. And so that'll introduce some energy. Pausing is great. Pausing, if you ever want to emphasize anything, just pause. Say it and then pause. Especially if you're talking about the problem or you're finishing on a slide, sometimes can be a good place to pause. And it introduces variation. So when you stop, or when you speak a little faster, or you speak a little slower, it really helps keep people's brains engaged, because there's variation in the pitch. And then, yeah. So have a think about how can I do that? When you don't have any of that pacing variation, it comes off as if you're reading a script. You're not. I don't think you are, at least. I don't think you're reading a script there. Judging from the way you're using your voice, I don't think you are. So some ways to potentially do that is at least focus maybe on pausing. If you focus on making sure you have a few pauses, the rest of your voice will kind of help throughout the rest of that. So I'd recommend focus on where can I introduce some pausing in your talk. What are some good moments that would reinforce a messaging here? Give a go giving a talk standing up. That can do really well. Sometimes when we sit down, it like hunches, but when we stand up, we kind of get moving, and it really does something with like our legs and our brain. And so if you are struggling voice-wise, try standing up and talking, giving a interview there. It does something to the way our diaphragm moves. That's not a word. Moves. So I think that would really help there. Let's see, is there anything else? I had notes. It's on the shared notes if you ever want to access this. I'm going to. Yep, already said that. Yeah, other than that, great work dealing with the noise in the background. I have that all the time. I remember having a few interviews, and it's just someone was like right outside my window working on like a construction machine, and so it was just like, and that's all I heard. These mics are amazing for dealing with that. I had someone just like screaming over there, and no one could hear a thing. But these things are like expensive, so like it's not worth it. I'm curious about Jeremy's Apple headphones though. I keep seeing them. I'm like, oh, I wonder if they're nice. I don't know. That's a different topic. Okay, so that's my feedback. Hopefully that is valuable. Thank you so much, Tawfik. Congratulations again, Tawfik, getting some feedback, signing up, turning up to a call like this. I want to open up the floor. Does anyone have any comments? Tawfik, do you have any comments you want for everyone else as well?
No, I mean, no comments, but I really appreciate once again that you taking the time to listen to me and giving the feedback, which is definitely helps me to improve those missing areas. So really appreciate each one of you. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Have you had a chance to submit, maybe is the wrong word, but use this deck? And how did you send it? How did you share it? Any issues that you ran into?
So the presentation which I shared is the one I presented, and I was this close to winning a job. The feedback I received was I was not clear on stating the problem, and what did you tackle? So that is an area that I didn't convey clearly.
Maybe a second session, Tawfik, might be a silent critique might be valuable there as well.
You know, one of my unmentioned bullet points was around the problem statement. It almost took a little too long to get to it. If there's a way to bring it forward, it helps provide a lot of context for what the rest of the slides and the presentation contain, to understand the problem. Play around with that. It might work. The problem statement in and of itself, I think, was probably fine, but maybe move it forward a little more if possible.
I think that's a great piece.
Okay.
I agree with that, Jeremy. Yeah, bring it forward. Yeah. Okay, Tawfik, how was this session for you? How are you feeling?
It was really great. It's always nervous, but even if it is not an actual job interview, it's still nervous to present. That said, I can see how I'm improving each time I present. And this platform gives me the place where I can practice this, and hearing your feedback also supports the good thing that I've been doing, and also where I can improve, gives me an insight where what I need to do better. So thank you so much, everyone.
Okay. Well, everyone, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much, Tawfik. This recording will go up very shortly, so it'll be available for you to watch again, Tawfik. The notes also contain at least some general notes from all of our feedback there as well. So great work, stepping forward, being a bit courageous, and showing your work.
Thanks, everyone. Well done,
Thank you.
Tawfik.
Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Hi to Ilham for us, Tawfik.
Bye. Thanks, man. Take care.
Bye. Hey, Susie, do you want to stay on for a sec?
Hi. Yeah, sure.
Figured we would we'd catch up.
Sure.
Sleepy?
Sleepy a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you? How you doing? How have you been?
I'm good. I'm good. You know, it's been a good week. We're opening up the community in a day, so that's exciting.
Yes. That's so exciting. I woke up today and I was like, what time is Tawfik's highlight? And I thought it was like 3 a.m. So that's why I like sent you this message like crazy early. And I was like, oh no, it's Sunday already. Like, because this week I've had my head in the clouds because I've been working on this project, which is like taking all of my brain cells. I had to come up with some concept for cookies for Malaysia, and I've never been to Malaysia, so I'm not really acquainted with the culture. And it was really hard. And I was like, the video every time. And then you send me the message on CSC, and then you're like, oh, last deadline for sending the video. I was like, oh, no way.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
No, thank you for asking again. Like, I really needed that. This week has been crazy on that regard.
No, thank you so much for like putting it forward. You know, it's a new thing. We were trying to figure out how can everyone always sees us, but like I really want other members to see other members. So it's like, okay, can I grab some messages from other members somehow? And so when someone joins, there'll be just this little compilation of like messages from other members who are doing well, who are like, hey, here's how I felt, and here's kind of what you need to be successful. You know, good luck, you've got this. Sort of thing. I think that feedback